And as this is our first step into our stewardship season, we're starting with a stewardship moment in which I have agreed to subject myself to an interview. More risk-taking. Before we turn to the offering. So we're going to sit here and make ourselves comfy.
So good morning. I'm Ellen Brennan. Most of us, I know a lot of you in here. We're beginning our stewardship campaign, and as we're doing this, one of the things that's kind of a tradition of our church is we talk to people who are members or regular attenders who give generously to the church, and have them talk about why they give to the church. And we're going to be doing that again throughout the month of March, and we thought we would start with a person who was a member of this church a long time before he was actually the pastor of this church. Am I right?
Well, I can't be a member as clergy, but I was regularly active and participating,
Right.
yes, for
Right.
several years before I...
Right. I remember when I first met Kip, I remember saying to him, how come you know so much about being a Methodist? I had no idea he was a pastor.
Yeah.
Anyway, our theme for stewardship is growing through giving. And so today, Kip has agreed to talk to us about why he gives generously to the church. And so I'm going to sit down. We're going to do this like a little interview.
We'll keep it short.
We will. So, Kip, we know the Christian church talks about giving our times, our talents, and our treasures. We know that you give time and talent. But could you talk a little bit about giving your treasure? And specifically, would you tell us about what a tithe is and why you've chosen to tithe to the church?
I know I've told this story before, so I'll keep it very short. When I was a kid, my parents, I would say drilled in, my parents very generously taught us the practice of giving. When we got old enough, they gave us a very stingy allowance, but taught us that we should give part of that allowance for other causes, other people beyond ourselves. And they taught us that the biblical principle is a 10% gift, which folks think about very differently. But that's what we grew up learning, and so what has become actually a constant practice from my childhood.
Okay, great. Could you talk a little bit about your discernment process, about how you choose to give?
Yeah, my wife Kathy and I, Kathy grew up in a Baptist church in Maine. She also learned some of those same lessons about giving. So we both came into marriage with this shared value that we give beyond ourselves. We also are without any children, so we recognize our particular kind of where we are in life allows us to be a little more expansive than some folks are. But we both had deep in our bodies that sense of 10%, and then it's become more again because we don't have kids. But we try to spread our gifts around. So we have a number of groups: hunger relief, economic justice, racial justice, those groups that we support, but also the church. The way that I think about it is, my wife Kathy is not here. She'll show up on Zoom on Christmas Eve. She might show up on Zoom, maybe in person on Easter. So the money she earns from her job goes to all of the other causes we support. The money I earn here, I'm tithing. So essentially, y'all get a 10% discount on my compensation.
That's great. Thank you, Kip. I have one more question for you. Can you talk about the benefits that you get of giving very generously?
Largely, I find that it helps me to let go of myself. We're in a culture that tends to tell us all the ways that we're falling short and all of the things that we need, and kind of conditions habits of anxiety. And the practice of letting go of some makes me feel tied into a broader community of humanity, of creation, a community of spirit. It teaches me, I think, to pay a little more attention to finances, for one, and to also it teaches me to relativize my own sense of importance in the world. So those are the ways I think about it.
Wow, thank you. And thank you so much for everything that you give to Chestnut Hill United Church.
Thank you for having these questions that I didn't know anything about in advance. And just thanks so much, Alice.